Hello. Welcome to episode 5, I believe, of the You Gotta Look Up podcast. Today I want to talk about unifying messages and how we can agree to get to some baseline definition of who we are as people. There's far too much hate in the world right now. And I think if we look deeper, we can find a solution for that. So I'll present mine. We are all cogs in a universal machine. I'm amazed at what's going on in the world right now. The hate, the killing. I thought we'd evolved beyond having experienced 2 world wars in the past 100 years and several other global conflicts. But the truth is, peace is not the normal state of mankind, unfortunately. In my mind, we should all be good cogs. And in my mind, a cog should not stand for creature of government or chaos over good. It does not stand for cost of goods or a creepy office guy, which my sister clued me into today. Aside from these definitions, when you hear the word cog, what do you think of? What exactly is a cog? An online search for a definition reveals the following. A cog is a wheel or a bar with a series of projections on its edge, which transfers motion by engaging with projections on another wheel or bar. A cog is a gear or a moving part of a machine or system. The word cog can also be used to define a minor player in an organization. But my definition of cog is something much bigger and far more important. During my first Gotta Look Up podcast, I mentioned that I believe there is more that unites us than divides us. And this is where I came up with my concept and definition of cog. To me, cog stands for child of God. We are all children of God. And when we apply that definition, no one is a minor player. I use this specific definition because it unifies us at a very fundamental level. As members of the universe, as members of a universal family, as brothers and sisters, as a base level relationship. We are all put on this earth to serve a purpose, and I don't believe it is to destroy each other. We're all cogs in the machine of the earth and of the universe, but we allow man-made societal definitions, politics, tribes, and social media inputs to affect how we define ourselves and our purpose. We allow political parties to distract us from what makes us good, productive, thoughtful, and caring cogs in this world, which means that we are not uniting by what we have in common. And these man-made distractions are delivered to us how? Through screens mostly. That is why it's important to look up from these screens and look back to family, friends, nature, and community, which is part of our mission here at Gotta Look Up. When cogs are not united and working in their purpose, this negatively affects the performance of the entire machine. We're all cogs in the complex machine of nature. When we're all productive cogs in nature, the nature's machine, the world runs smoothly. We can take care of each other, we can love each other, we can live in peace. Cog in my book also stands for citizen of good. Cog can also mean creator of grace. Both of these are positive notions centered around the concept of cog. I'm sure there's other positive descriptions that can be made by this acronym, and I'm sure that if it catches on, there'll be several other suggestions, both positive and negative, related to cog. So take your pick of a positive definition of cog and become one, an active one that starts a positive change in the world. When we look up from our screens, look around, and look even higher, we can identify ways to become better children of God, better citizens of good, and better creators of grace. It is a mindset and a mission that we can take little steps toward every minute of every day. It starts in our own hearts, and when it changes our behaviors, the rest of the world will take notice of the increased intensity of our light and possibly change as well. Possibly put down their man-made arms of destruction to reach out with the arms that we've been given and embrace their fellow humans. Some quotes to share. You are a child of God. You are wonderfully made, dearly loved, and precious in his sight. That is from Psalm 139. This is from President Ronald Reagan. Peace fails when we forget what we stand for. And this is from the author L.R. Nost. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. I'll tell you about a real life cog story. This actually is interesting because it's a sign from the universe that this concept of cog was something for me to pursue. Quick side note, while I was coming up with God Look Up and playing with the concept of child of God, this is when this story happened. There's a big cat sanctuary located in Southern California called Shambhala Reserve. It was founded and still owned by the actress Tippi Hedren. Miss Hedren is probably best known for a role in the Alfred Hitchcock film classic, The Birds. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Miss Hedren at a fundraising dinner at the reserve, and she was one of the most beautiful, nicest, and classiest women I have ever met. Long story short, I used to sponsor a mountain lion named Trinity. When Trinity passed away recently, the folks at Shambhala invited me to come to their next event to pick out a new cat to adopt. Since I supported a mountain lion previously, I wanted to sponsor another mountain lion at the reserve. They had several new cats that had come in recently as rescues from roadside zoos where someone lost their mothers and were rescued by humans but could not be rewilded. As we came to an enclosure with 3 mountain lions, 1 male and 2 females, I watched this one mountain lion who seemed to have the most attitude. When I asked his name, the reply was Cog. I nodded and smiled, noticing the message from the universe, and said, "That's the one." And I now sponsor Cog with a monthly donation. For your information, we're about to launch the merch site on Gotta Look Up, and there'll be Gotta Look Up branded and Cog branded merchandise hitting the store in the next few weeks. To go for more information on that or to see the store, it's at www.gottalookup.com. It's not live yet. We're working on finding some charitable partners to actually take proceeds from the sale of these items and make donations to these charities. We'll present more details when we're ready. It shouldn't be too difficult to embrace this notion of Cog or child of God. It starts with each of us and the determination and commitment to do what is right and good for our fellow man over what is expedient or selfish. Look up, look around, look ahead, be a Cog now and into the future.